r/askreddit. What life-altering things should every human ideally get to experience at least once in their lives?
Living single and alone. It's a very specific kind of freedom, but a touch of fear. I can do whatever I want. At the same time, if something bad happened, it might be a bit before anyone even noticed.
During a particularly bad acid trip, I learned just how vulnerable I was because I live alone. Needless to say, it taught me to value every friend and family member I have left.
Acid trip is another answer to Up's question.
As crap as it is, and I wouldn't wish it upon many people, heartbreak. I feel like a lot of personal growth can stem from it. It also makes you way more sensitive and understanding of others who are hurting and suffering. Empathy is far more important and powerful than sympathy.
I think I learned the wrong lesson. I experienced the heartbreak, and instead of coming out a better and more mature person, I became a cold, impossible to love and trust person. I think it may have scarred me for life.
Travel alone doesn't need to be long, but I think it requires a skill to be alone and feel comfortable about it. Not many people take the leap to go and slash or don't have the skill. It is very valuable to feel comfortable being alone, being in a crowd, for example.
Many people I know find it amazing that I go to the cinema by myself, let alone travel to other cities by myself.
Being utterly lost or similarly in a hopeless situation and getting yourself out of it with persistence and endurance.
A long road trip with friends. It's a bonding experience being in a little metal box with a group of friends for hours at a time trying to get somewhere together. You'll drive each other crazy, you'll make each other crazy, you'll make each other laugh. It's truly a wonderful experience.
Finally, one I've already planned to do soon. Any tips before starting our 12 hours consecutive drive?
The second you start to feel tired, switch drivers. I was driving home with friends after a day trip and nearly crashed the car because I was so tired. Don't risk it.
Go somewhere isolated in you, but enough at night that you can see the full skyscape, including the band of the Milky Way.
As someone who grew up where you can see the Milky Way, it is so weird to me that some people have never seen it. Even though I could see it on any non-cloudy night as a kid, I still will go out to a soybean field during any meteor shower to enjoy the show. The night sky is such a cool thing that somehow makes you feel very small, but at the same time really connected with Earth.
Until I was an adult, a few years into adulthood, I honestly thought that the pictures of the Milky Way from Earth were basically photoshopped to show what it could look like. I've still never seen it, and I still can't imagine seeing more than a dozen or so stars at once.
Failure. You'd be surprised how many people constantly have their life fixed for them and never have to fail at anything. Failure allows us to learn coping skills, resilience, problem solving, determination. So many skills that many people today just don't have.
Absolutely agree on this. Failure taught me it's not the end of the world if you fail.
Failure is just XP grinding to level up.
Garlic bread.
I could eat a very unreasonable amount of garlic bread if given the opportunity.
I don't think that would be unreasonable at all.
Standing in front of a classroom trying to teach. Friends who teach in the elementary/secondary system have the same complaints as professors. Everyone has a criticism, complaint, or gentle suggestion to improve, but have no idea what is involved in getting all of the regulatory requirements. Getting up in front of a class and ensuring that the ELOs are met in a way that satisfies federal, state, and university administrators while also engaging the students. It's getting worse and worse, too.
My housemate is a teacher, and yes, it's one hell of a job, that one. Props to all my high school teachers that had to deal with little shits and state requirements.
Stand on top of a mountain. One of my absolute life-changing experiences is hiking a mountain in the fog. Me and a friend hiked a few thousand feet, and when we hit the peak, we had just come over the fog line. There was an old guy at the top with us, and he saw that we were in awe. He pointed to the northeast. "See that other mountain range poking out above the clouds? That's Tahoe. Tahoe was 150 miles away, give or take. Something about being exhausted after intense physical exertion, with your best friend in a surreal landscape, and then having a seemingly impossible vision pointed out to you on top of that, was otherworldly."
May I ask which mountain? The feeling of having mastered something. Piano, poetry, writing, some video game, coding, anything really. There is a special self-knowledge that comes from having mastered something that everyone really needs to know.
Do we ever really, truly, and completely? I am positive no matter how good I am at something, if I ever am, I will never feel it can't be even better.
You can master something without it being impossible to improve.
Being debt-free. I was born debt-free.
Go into a nursing home and volunteer to sit with some of the loneliest residents. Let them talk. Just listen. You'll learn so much and experience every emotion you know, and some you never felt before.
Failure, heartache, embarrassment, loss. Without them, you can't grow.
Agreed. On the other side of the coin, though, success, love, and gain. Without these, you would have a depressing and miserable life. Complete vulnerability in the company of the person that you love. Letting that person really know you and taking the risky leap of putting yourself with all of your insecurities, quirks, and naive hopes in another person's hand.
I can't agree with this more. I was struggling with so much trust, anxiety, and insecurity issues for so long that when I finally let myself completely open to someone, I felt like a whole new person. The only thing I can add to this is to be sure the other person is open to have you open up and has the patience and love to help you get back on your feet.
Yeah, good point. Oversharing before the other person is sufficiently comfortable with you can certainly backfire.
Pack up, leave, and start afresh in a whole new town.
As someone who's done this 4 times, make sure to remember who you are instead of reinventing yourself every time.
I'm going to be making a cross-country move soon. Any advice or things you wish you knew the first time around? Things to do in new cities? Mistakes to avoid?